Hello and welcome to the Corona Yoga Challenge. Today is day 67. Rate's definitely slowing down, so now let's see if they manage to stay down or what they do next. All the fun, eh? So if you want to bring yourself into all fours to start with. So you're going to come into a comfortable all fours position, so there's space between your hands and your knees. You're going to start to slide your hips forwards and back a couple of times, so nice smooth movement over the back. As the hips come back, easing out with the shoulders. So thinking about that softening and lengthening into the kind of back of the rib cage here. And then you're going to bring your weight over your hands and your knees. You're going to take your opposite hand and leg and you're just going to let them touch the floor. So they're just touching the floor. And then from here, if you feel nice and stable, you can let your leg and your hand lift up and away. So it's called flying table. That's one of the names for it. You're going to bring your hand and your foot back down, settle them onto the ground. And then we're going to come to the opposite side. So we keep the hand on the floor to start with, so we can stabilise through the tummy, through the back, through the hips, before we float off. So we find that stability, then we float up with the arm and the leg. And what you're wanting to do is from the very centre of you, find that stability so that you don't, or you reduce your amount of little movements or little wobbles. And then bring your hand and your knee back down. We're going to come to your first side again, so hand and leg extend away. This time if you want to lift them up a little bit, you can. Make sure that you're making space through the supporting elbow and supporting hip. And then bring your hand and your knee back down. And then to the opposite side. Hand and leg extend out, so we start with just that stability on the horizon. And then lift up a little bit if you want to. And then bring yourself all the way back to nice even all fours. Slide your hips back, take your knees slightly wide so you can extend yourself down and onto the floor. Think about width across the back of the pelvis, across the back of the rib cage, and wide across the shoulders as well. And then if you bring yourself back and into all fours. We're going to come up to standing now, so we're going to tuck our toes under at the back. You're going to walk your hands back towards your knees. Lift up with your hips, soft fold forward through the front of the body so that you're resting your elbows onto your thighs. And then bend through your knees, lift up through the pelvic floor, up through the hands and the tummy. Come all the way up and overhead and back down to standing. We're going to do a balancing pose from here. So if you make sure that you've got a little bit of support beside you, you're going to make sure that you step back and then take a nice big step wide forward, hands wide, slide yourself up and into the room. And you can imagine all this feeling of space underneath the arms, underneath the inner wrists, underneath the palms and the fingers. And then bring yourself back up and to standing. And then we're going to do the opposite side. So same thing, big step forward, hands come wide, really extend out into the fingertips, and then slide yourself out and forwards. And then bring yourself back to standing, so back to settled feet. We're going to do one more on each side. So you're going to take first leg, foot comes down, arms come wide, really extend out with the arms, but then down with the shoulders. Float yourself up and forwards. And then if you want to, you can take your hands out towards the back. And then come wide again. And back to standing. Settled and even feet. And then we're going to do your second side. So nice big step forward, hands come wide, shoulders release down. So we make space in between the shoulder blades. Tip yourself up and forward. She's going for a wobble, she's not. And then from there, if you want to, hands can come out around the back. Get that lovely feeling of lengthening out and then spread wide through your hands again, bend through your supporting leg. Come back to standing, back to even, and back to that feeling like you can spread your weight slightly back into the hips, back into the heels, so we get that soft into the back of the body feeling. We're going to come down to the floor now, so if you want to bring yourself to a comfortable sitting position. So we're just going to start with a nice even kind of cross-legged position, and then from here you're going to slide your knees further together, but we're just going to let the feet be in a very, very natural, wherever they want to be sort of position. And we're going to twist round from here, so this is a fantastic t-shirt for this. Can you see all the wrinkles? What you're going to see is as you turn round, you can find that you're going to move the wrinkles of your t-shirt. So we want the movement to be right through the centre of the body to start with. And that's the bit that's sometimes harder to get, so it's very easy just to move your shoulders round and then not do anything. So it's important that we're starting rooted down through the hips, then we come round through the tummy, and then maybe through the shoulders, the neck, the head. Keeping that feeling of lifting and lengthening up as you twist round. Bringing yourself back to the centre. And then we're going to swap over, so you're going to take your opposite leg over the top. So again, just a nice comfortable cross-legged position, and then slide your knees towards one another and let the feet be wherever they end up. We're tilting slightly up and onto the sit bones, and then we're going to spiral round through the tummy and the rib cage. So there'll be that little lift through the pelvic floor, a little lift through the tummy. And then the shoulders are going to move round, and maybe the neck and the head. And then bring yourself easily back to the centre. Take both knees out in front, or both legs out in front, softly bent up, so you can fold forwards. And then if you'd like to, you can start to lengthen your legs out so you come a little bit lower, but only if the whole of your back is really, really happy. And then bring yourself up into sitting. And if you just want to be in whatever position is going to be comfortable for you, to do a little bit of breathing. So we're going to breathe in, feel that sense of lightness coming up through the body. Breathe out, be aware of the deep heaviness in the pelvis and the hips and that grounding feeling. So we're going to be working with that feeling of light and that feeling of heaviness. And you're going to go back and forth with your breath, so at your own pace, feeling that sense that as we breathe in, we can get a little lift through the rib cage, a little lift into the collarbones, a lightness up through the head. And as we breathe out, we can really feel that sense of real connection to the earth, to the connection to real strength of the ground beneath us. And just playing back and forth with your inhale, with your exhale. So that we're travelling between light and heavy. And when we're finding a sense of heavy, it's that real connection, like we're magnetised or drawn down to the ground. So my challenge for you today is to go into your wardrobe, find something really fun, and find something else that doesn't go with it and wear it together. It's a great joy. There's absolutely nothing to be lost apart from a bit of self-respect. So that's got to be good, hasn't it? Yeah, it's really fun. I still remember my daughter actually at about the age of 4 or so, deciding that she wanted to go out. It was like a tartan top, stripy shorts, it wasn't flowery, but it was like patterned leggings underneath the shorts. It was just the most shocking combination. It still sears my brain with horror and yet great joy. So I suggest you go into your wardrobe and see if you can find a similar level of surprising yourself and shock and joy all in one. Great idea, right? And I don't have a quote for you today. Instead, I had started work and then had to go to the garage to pick Andrew up and then came back again. So I don't have a quote. I'm not well organised today. Going with the flow. Hope you have a good day. See, there's the quote. Go with the flow. Have a good day. Hope all is well.